This is Stephen A. Williams, President and founder of the CreditPressShop.com, and in today's video, we're going to talk about something that I think is very disturbing when dealing with some of these lending companies that are out there. This is one that is Lending Club Corporation. I know you've seen it out there all over the place, doing ads, and I guess their whole thing is that there's groups of investors who will fund certain, if you make fund certain loans, and I guess they're fighting each other over them. Well, when reviewing one of the court summons, uh, and I've seen this before, but I think that this is a real problem, and we've been able to win these. When we wrote up the fence for individuals and they submitted these, they've been able to get those cases dismissed. And I'm not going to go into every detail about the things that we're using as strategies, not because I don't want to share it with you, it's because this is real deal. And these debt collectors, they monitor these YouTube channels and especially my channel, and they look at the adjustments that we make to help people win those lawsuits. And we saw directly one of the adjustments that they did that we had to figure out another way to actually fight the documents that they had actually gave the court on that, and it was about privacy. So here's another one, and this is something else that I look for is look at all of these when so Lending Club is the corporation, but look at all of these names of all of these companies that are within this group. So just like the issue that we had when car dealers were running your credit with multiple lenders to try to see who would, finance a car, have 20 or 30, 15, 20, 30 different inquiries on your credit report. And it's like, I only gave permission for you to do it. Why did you run it with all of these places? Now, I haven't seen a report that would have this many inquiries for one specific loan. So I don't know exactly if they're if they're using just one place to have access to what a score is, or if information is being transferred to each of these companies when someone applies for a loan. And then they're going to say, hey, we'll underwrite the loan, or someone else will underwrite it. But that's what they're doing. That's their little thing that they have, their gimmick with having all of these lenders put together. My problem with it, this is what my problem with it is: sharing of your information with all of these companies. Does each one of these companies have your information? It does each, because when I looked at the sale certificate from the debt collector, from the original creditor Lending Club to the debt collector, it has that Lending Club is a representative of every one of these lenders here. And look at this, look at all of these pages. So imagine that if you were in court and you asked the plaintiff attorney, give me a document that allowed every one of these companies to view my information. Now, you may be saying, well, how do we know that each one of these companies reviewed my information? The reason why we know that the companies viewed their information is because it's a sale document that they gave the debt collector. The sale document that they gave the debt collector specifically states that Lending Club, a vice president or representative or whoever it was, represented as a POA to every one of these companies. And if it was only one company that they were selling the debt, so say this one here, Consumer Underlying Bond Securitization Series 2018-1, Grantor Trust. Let's just say that this company was the one that actually did the loan. And I'm not saying that I know how they do it. I'm just saying from the way that I've broken it down and the way that I'm guesstimating is that this, like for this example, this company would make a loan. So why would all of these companies, number one, have access, and why would you have to have a POA that would be included in a lawsuit to include all of these companies on there. I think that that's a major problem. And you can see, look at these, as we were typing these out, and we put every one of them on there on purpose. When we were putting this together, they said, "Do you want to put every one of them?" Yes, because just think of the leverage, or not necessarily the leverage, but the impression that it's going to make to the judge to see that every one of these companies potentially held your loan, potentially transferred your private information, and potentially we don't know who actually had the loan originally. We just don't know. It's like a big mess, and they need to give us that information, or give the defendant that information, so the defendant would know actually who had it. How do we know if one of these companies didn't file bankruptcy? Uh, Chapter 11 reorganization, a 1099-C. Like, there's a lot of problems that I could see coming up with these companies. And you got Sally Mae that's in the middle of this. Sally Mae Bank is actually involved in making these types of loans. Uh, I think that there could be a lot of issues with the way that the information is being transferred. And then you have one right here with this one, where it has these different names right here, same Pagoya or Pagaya, and then you have them right here. Uh, are they transferring them within? We don't know what's going on with these. That's why it should be included. And we included every one of them that was listed. They included it on that summons complaint for a reason. And that's because somehow all of these companies had access. But now all of these companies have to prove that the defendant gave them access. And they also have to prove some other things that I'm not going to go into in this video. So I just wanted to show this to you. If you're getting a summons and you're with these lending clubs, and there was another one that was sent to me earlier today that had a whole group of these, but it was not the lending club. So we're on to something with this, and we're going to just keep playing it out. So far, we don't know what violations, to make them dismiss. They just would outright dismiss the case. But I'm pretty sure at some point we're going to find out with these types of challenges that we make, that we're going to get an actual reason why they decided to dismiss the case. All right, if you need help with your credit, or please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process and my two-phase settlement process. If you have debt collectors trying to sue you in court, there's a link below this video where you can see a video where I show you where you can either do it yourself, or you can hire us to do it, to write the response. At least if you have a response, you have an opportunity to win. You never know. If the debt collection attorney, they usually hire out people in those areas where the defendant lives, and they don't want to get mixed up with stuff that they don't know. If it's cut and dry, where the person don't show up, default judgment, they love those, but when people start to fight, that's a different story. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com. Link is below this video. You can get your TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian reports and scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you, get my 3-pack of letters: statute of limitations letter, debt validation letter, and cease and desist collection activities letter. It has the instructions with it. And I do ask for a donation. I appreciate it because it helps me monetize my time that I take to educate you here on the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you ask your questions and comments. Thank you.